Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be doing an up-to-date review on this 5-year-old VW Passat that's covered around 40,000 miles. Okay, I'm sure you guys are all wondering why I'm going out my way to review this VW Passat. I mean, I'm sure a lot of car enthusiasts are not a huge fan of this car, and yes, I'm one of them. But it's because I've been surrounded with a lot of VW products throughout my childhood, since my father owned a Mark IV Golf and Passat CC that both had TDI engines, much like this one. Speaking of engines, when the Passat first came out in 2015, it came with two diesel engines. The first one was a 2-litre diesel, the most common one, which is right beside me, and that has around 150 brake horsepower, and you also had a choice of the 1.6 diesel as well, but that came with only 120 brake horsepower. Realistically, I recommend you go for the 2-litre diesel like the one right beside me right now, even though it is a diesel. So you have to take into account this car weighs over 2 tons, so that 1.6 diesel and 120 brake horsepower isn't really going to get you anywhere. Later on, some more engines came out, petrol and diesel, but I'd forget all that and personally go for the GT model, which came out bang on 2 years later in 2017. I know, yes, the GT is an extra 5 grand from the 2-litre Passat diesel in this video, which is retailing for around 10 grand, I forgot to mention, but honestly, you shouldn't be having cheap as one of your requirements if you're trying to purchase a German branded vehicle. And now let's talk about the running costs associated with the 2015 VW Passat, and there isn't much considering this car is actually pretty cheap to run. The 15 and 16 reg models, you only have an annual car tax bill of what, £20, and some models you have to pay £30 for. I don't know why, but also VW actually gave this car a quote of 69 miles per gallon, which I don't quite believe, so we'll test that out later in the video. And now let's move on to the interior of the VW Passat, and as you can see, it's aged quite a bit, to be fair with you, but that German quality has stood up quite decently in those 5 years since it's been out, and you even get nice squidgy plastic on the door cards, which you don't see a lot nowadays. One feature that I really do like in the interior of this VW Passat is the fact you get like a clock up here in the center of your eye line. Great ergonomics, but it kind of reminds me of something you'd get in a Porsche in the Sports Chrono package that you have to pay crazy amounts of money for. Another feature that I really like, and more premium cars should definitely have this, is the fact that the glove box is actually air conditioned. The cool bit is you can actually choose the intensity of what you want the air to come out at inside the glove box with a little knob. Now that's great thinking. And now for features that I don't like in the VW Passat, starting off with the volume knob. Now I've already spoke about this reason in the VW Polo review, so I'm not going to talk about it now, but if you want to know why, click on that top right hand banner and go watch that video. Furthermore, I'm also not a huge fan of this steering wheel. If you didn't know, it's actually the same steering wheel as you get in the VW Caddy, which is a van. And now on to a safety / interesting feature in the Passat, and that's access through the driver's panel in the settings. It's to do with if you have snow tires on your car or not. Snow tires often have limits on how fast you could go in them, and in the settings you can actually set a speed limit to display a warning if you go over that limit. I like the fact VW have actually done this because I haven't seen this in many other cars, to be fair with you. Okay, so now let's move on to the drive section of the video, and instead of just like whacking a suction cup on the dash and filming me, I thought it'd be a great idea for me to put a GoPro on my head and do it that way instead, as you guys could get a gauge of what it actually feels like to drive. So let's hop in and go for a drive. I don't think this car has keyless entry, so you have to open it manually. It does have folding mirrors though, which do open, and it does have a engine start stop, so no key required. Just whack on our seatbelt. Okay, let's go for a drive. Okay, so the claimed MPG that VW gave this car was what, 70 MPG that we mentioned earlier on in the video, so let's actually give that a check and see if that's true. So you just check it through this little dash here, and I've got 285 miles range. It's quite a bit, to be fair, not gonna lie. So yeah, 45.9 MPG. So it's nowhere near that 70 mpg, and no one's really going to believe that. I don't think this car really could do 70 mpg. and I'm sure, as you know, I'm not a fan of this steering wheel. If you're really bothered about steering wheels like I am, I would personally go for the all-line version, which is I think it's got 190 PS, slightly more power, same 2-litre diesel, but that car has got the DSG gearbox as well as the Golf R steering wheel, which is a winner in my case. So in all honesty, I think this is just a car for you to just go to work in and back. That's all. You're not really going to have much fun in this car. It does great MPG. Well, not, you know, great compared to what VW quote, but you know, it's going to save you money. It's quite comfortable, to be fair with you. That's all. You're not gonna, you know, you're not gonna race anyone at the lights. So as for like gearboxes, you know, VW are quite popular for their DSG gearbox. So, and I've got the manual right now that I'm driving. I'm a huge fan of manuals. I'm not a huge fan of automatics, but the DSG gearbox is one of them gearboxes that are just so good that I think going for a DSG might actually be better than having a manual in VWs. Not gonna lie as well, a lot of people are looking at me proper weird just because I've got a GoPro mounted on my head. That is kind of hilarious. In terms of ride height though, you do actually sit quite high up, not gonna lie. You're not quite low to the ground, so it does have that van style feel to it, but you know, it's not as high as you think it is. So this car's actually done 40,000 miles, so that's quite a small amount compared to other VW Passat owners, but you know, it still feels quite fresh and still quite new. So if you do get a car with a VW Passat even with 40,000 miles, just know it's what's this guy doing? Hey up. Looks like no one's getting through that. I ain't getting through that anyway. There's a roadblock as well. This is hilarious. Oh, thanks to this guy, he's reversed all the way back for me. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Cheers, mate. Let's go around. Can't be bothered with that. In this car, you actually get different modes as well. However, the button is actually right down here, so you can't really see it until you move your gear lever to third gear, and then you could actually see it. So they need to change that. But you, in the modes, you get normal, sport, eco and individual, which I love the fact that German vehicles get individual. You can customize it. Other cars don't get that, and I think other manufacturers should 100% consider this individual mode, because I want to have comfort suspension with sport steering. One thing I've noticed that I quite like in the VW Passat whilst I've been driving it is this air conditioning vent that they've just blended it in with the rest of the dash. Kind of looks kind of cool, and it does actually fit the whole design of the car. Another feature that I like in the VW Passat is the fact that the interior lights are actually all fully LED. So you got one there, two here. Also, let me just check the sun visor. I think there might be one here as well. Oh yeah, it's right at the top. So you don't really see that in many modern cars, let alone a car that's 5 years old. Anyway, look guys, if you've enjoyed this GoPro mount style, where you can see where I'm driving, where I'm going, and you can see what it's like to drive, in fact, please let me know down in the comments down below, and give me your opinions. Let me know if you want this, or you'd rather just watch me and have the camera right there pointing at me. I don't know, it's up to you. I don't mind changing it up for you guys. Please let me know, that's all. So what do I think of the VW Passat? Well, my outcome is, if you do more than 20 miles a day on the motorway, T9 to 5 job, then you could actually consider this car as a daily, because it's quite cheap to run and it's some bulk of its appreciation. But if you don't and drive around town a lot, go get yourself a fun little hatchback. Then go get yourself. Today we'll be doing a review. Hi guys, yeah, of the VW Passat, and as you can see, it's aged quite a bit, hasn't it, to be fair with you. That German quality